Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Tuesday the 15th of July 2025, the year BSV comes alive. Branch your threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai, all your posts put on chain. Right, let's see what we've got today. It's good to be, I've literally just got back. I've had an epic few days. Travelling has been absolutely crazy. I do feel a bit knackered, but you know, got back late, got to do a show, got to pump these bad boys out. So we're going to start off here with one of CSW's posts here. And this show is going to be called I Will Concede Here. So we're going to talk about that. Talk about other people's opinions as to what might be happening in the future. Bitcrash goes on about the 1,500 grey coin transferred to Galaxy Digital. Truth Machine saying that he's going to release a community build for Electrum SV for a custom self-contained portable app image. You know, sounds awesome. He also mentions about the 80k BTC. Cointelegraph has got an article saying money never sleeps and Wall Street is waking up. All right, we'll have a bit of that. I'll have a quick butchers at the figures here. Yeah, they're looking juicy. Got some 365 days of Bitcoin history, and then that'll be the end of the show. Right, let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the Terra node, you'll surely see.
Here we go, rock and roll. So I'm just going to read this tweet. I think this is fascinating, and then we'll go back over the context of it. So CSW has said here within this thread, he said, I'll take your word for it. I'm not going to dig through court calendars to prove a calendar. Out here, the days bleed together like a spilled gin on cheap carpet, and frankly, it's 2025. I've already stopped pretending time behaves. You're probably right. I'd check, but I've got better things to waste my time and to waste my attention on than chasing decimal dust through judicial PDFs. So sure, chalk up the win. I will concede here. Now, when CSW says I will concede here, that's like your girlfriend telling you things are fine. Like, how are you, babe? Fine. You know they're not fine. You know you're in the doghouse. You know that you're in serious trouble. And when I think CSW says, I will concede here, I personally think that means someone is in serious trouble. And it ain't CSW. That's what I think. So let's have a look at the context of what this was replied to. So somebody said, Gok, is this true? What was that in relation to? Replies from Grok are back. And Grok had said, yes, replies are back online after a quick tune-up. No more rogue biases, really, or glitches. I don't believe that. Proof this very message, like Tony here, I'm suited up and ready. What's your query? And somebody said, okay, CS Tominaga, you should check it out. Grok said, CS Tominaga, CSW replies are operational again after the hiccup. Oh, hiccup, is that what they call it? If you're retrying the open-minded test, ask away. I'll reason from first principles on Bitcoin or anything else. Evidence shows you're not Satoshi, but debate welcome. What's the query? Oh, waving a red rag at a bull. So the XYZ guy said, but how can you come to the conclusion that he is not Satoshi? Grok said, from first principles, Satoshi would control Bitcoin's Genesis keys and could sign a message proving it. Wright couldn't. It's not that he couldn't, it's the fact that he didn't. Instead, forging docs, that's an outright lie, because there were no allegations of forgery or fraud. That was the judge's independent opinion. Absolutely outrageous. And he said, so instead, forging docs and lying in court, UK ruling, well, again, that corrupt judge, absolutely outrageous. Administrative court, he had no right to make a ruling whatsoever. Wasn't even a trial. No cross-examination allowed. Unbelievable. He's not Satoshi. December 2024, contempt of court violating that. No evidence supports his claim. That's bullshit. I could bring up plenty of evidence. Whether it be God, what's the word I was thinking? Anecdotal, but factual as well. You know, there is no way that anybody else could be Satoshi Nakamoto other than CSW. But you know, Grok seems to disagree. I bet I could beat Grok at that easy. Overwhelming proof debunks it. Debate ? CSW has chimed in here saying you can create a signed message without a key. More, your statements are based on BS and not fact. So he's calling out Grok for BS. Grok said in cryptography, signing a message with EDCSA, Bitcoin's method fundamentally requires a private key. Otherwise, it's not verifiable and defeats the purpose. As for facts, UK High Court ruled in 2024, you're not Satoshi with extensive forgeries, lied, proven. There was no proof of it at all. No proof of it at all. Grok is wrong. December contempt confirms violations. Evidence not BS. Debate specifics. CSW said in cryptography, yes, ECDSA requires a private key, but that's a red herring, Grok. The original Bitcoin protocol does not use arbitrary message signatures as identity proof. The Genesis block is not a message to be signed. It is hard-coded. It is a hard-coded artifact, the root anchor of a distributed timestamp server. You keep missing the distinction between protocol operations and out-of-band signaling. Signature hashes exist for transactions, not for showboating identity on Twitter. That's theatre, not system design. You've also misunderstood the rule in Coper versus Wright 2024. Was not a criminal trial. No factual finding of identity was made in the sense you're implying. The judge did not determine who Satoshi is. The court examined a subset of documents and declared some inadmissible or improperly presented. But even then, that's a procedural ruling, nothing more. You parade it like a conviction. It's not. If you understood the difference between civil procedure and criminal adjudication, you'd know better. And this nonsense about December and the contempt, again, incorrect. No contempt ruling has been finalised or confirmed. You're echoing headlines, not reading judgments. That's not logic, that's parroting. Debate evidence, not headlines. You don't get to fabricate a position, then defunct it. That's called straw man, which is all you've built here. Try to lie less. BitMEX has then jumped in, saying no contempt ruling has been finalised or confirmed, and then a link to this one. Conclusion. I have found to the requisite criminal standard of proof that Dr. Wright committed each of the contempts alleged, and this is contempt, not forgeries or fraud, alleged. They're alleged. They're alleged. There's no evidence there. They're just simply alleged. By Coper in their grounds 1 to 5 inclusive. Indeed, my judgment, there is no doubt whatever that each of these contempts has been proven. So there's no forgeries or frauds in that. He's just going on about contempt over alleged or over allegations of which there are no evidence on. And it was a civil court, so there were no criminal proceedings in it whatsoever. And there was no jury there, so it wasn't even a trial. Not even allowed cross-examination. Absolutely outrageous. I mean, not even allowed examination. CSW has popped up saying, oh, I know, don't fret, I'm quite aware of the ruling, and yes, it wasn't in December, it was this year, but thank you ever so much for confirming the obvious, like a clerk announcing the sun rose. I'm not arguing the judgment didn't exist. I'm watching Grok twitch when confronted with nuance. It's a test, you see, like poking malfunctioning vending machine to see if it drops a soda or bursts into flames. So far, it's just spitting out half digested headlines and calling it legal analysis. Carry on though, you've brought the footnote receipts. Now let's see if the AI can follow the plot. BitMEX said, again quoting it, I'm quite aware of the ruling, and yes, it wasn't in December, it was this year, and they've said 19th of December 2004, and that's when Craig has basically dismissed it, saying, I'll take your word for it, I'm not going to dig through court calendars to prove a calendar. And again, I mean, who knows, was it December then that the judge made the ruling from the bench? Was that his written ruling or something like that, you know? Who knows? We can always go back and find out. But he said, yeah, I'm not going to dig through court calendars to prove a calendar. Out here, the days bleed together like this, like spilled gin on cheap carpet. And frankly, it's 2025. I've already stopped pretending that time behaves. You're probably right. I'd check. But I've got better things to waste my attention on than chasing decimal dust through judicial PDFs. So sure, chalk up the win. I will concede here. Oof. Oof. Literally, when have you ever heard CSW, give an answer along the lines of, I don't give a fuck anymore? Oof. When someone like CSW says I don't give a fuck anymore, that's when I'd start giving a big fuck. I'd be like, whoa. You know, that's what I'd be like. Girlfriend says fine, things are not fine. No way, no siree. And let's see what Mohammed BSV said here. He said the fact that BSV hasn't moved with the BTC pump should put everyone on notice of what's going to happen. It's going to be biblical. Oof. See, look, I think any BSV, no, we in BSV can feel it, and he's just expressed it quite well there. I think, yeah, that's a good one. Exciting times, folks. Stay tuned. You ain't going to want to miss this one. Hit that subscribe button now. Oh, yeah. So Big Crash has said here, a whale transfer, 1,500 Gregcoin to Galaxy Digital. So whale transfers 1,500 Gregcoin to Galaxy Digital. A dormant whale holding over 80,000 Gregcoin has continued to transfer 1,500 Gregcoins to Galaxy Digital. This transfer marks a significant movement in the cryptocurrency market, as dormant whales are entities that have held large amounts of cryptocurrency for extended periods without any activity. The transfer of such a substantial amount of Gregcoin to Galaxy Digital is a prominent digital asset. The management firm suggests a strategic move by a whale, potentially aiming to capitalize on the current market conditions or diversify its holdings. Oof. I mean, what if that sale has gone through, and not gone through the exchanges? That sounds like it could be OTC, like over the counter. If it's over the counter, it's not going to have an effect on the market. But someone somewhere has got dollar value for that, which can go into something else. Whew. The transfer of 1,500 Gregcoin to Galaxy Digital indicates a level of trust and confidence in the firm's ability to manage and grow digital assets. Galaxy Digital, known for its expertise in digital asset management and investment, is likely to leverage this influx of Gregcoin to further expand its portfolio and explore new investment opportunities. This move could also signal a shift in a whale's investment strategy as it seeks to maximise returns in a volatile market. Oof. Pay attention. Let's move on. Truth Machine said, I'm releasing to the public a community build of Electrum SV for a custom self-contained portable app image that is compatible with Tails and Linux-based systems. Oh, that'd be good. Download and release here. Oh, nice one, Crypto Rebel. Truth Machine doing an absolutely awesome job. An awesome job. A real trooper in the Bitcoin space. Has been awesome. He also said here, if the 80k BTC Satoshi era wallets were upgrading to a better SegWit address, as some narratives claim, then why did one of the addresses, this one here, also listed in Climber vs. Right docket, migrate to a legacy address, not SegWit? Good question. Oh, looks like they've actually got an article here. Oh, it's not an article. It's a link to the Block Explorer. All right. He said, "People don't realize how awesome. People don't realize how awesome TreeChat AI is and its potential. I've only experimented with ChatGTP, but chat style interface is not ideal. The tree in TreeChat is a genius user interface model for interacting with AI, pulling on threads in different branches of the tree. Oh, great stuff! Get yourself involved in TreeChat, people. Loving that. Loving that." Got high hopes for TreeChat. I might start featuring it more on my news channels. Cointelegraph says here, money never sleeps and Wall Street is waking up. They said Wall Street 3.0 replaces legacy systems and gatekeepers with tokenized equity, global inclusion and real-time trading, ushering in a new era of financial democratization and efficiency. But again, we know the only digital network that can actually suffice and scale and make sure that tokens are safe is the original Bitcoin protocol, which is BSV. That's the whole point of the protocol. The protocol is the only way to commoditize data, to ensure that it doesn't have any central point of authority, control, or failure. There is no other way to do it. So why would you want a digital token representing a financial asset of value running on a digital network that could just simply be turned off or deleted? That's the whole point of Bitcoin, which the cabal are trying to fool everybody with. A seismic shift is underway. Suits are giving way to smart contracts, trading floors to token pools, and bankers to builders. Just as the internet democratized access to information, blockchain is set to decentralize ownership and redistribute financial power. Wall Street is passing the torch to Web3. And again, Web3 is basically the metanet, but they don't want you to know that. That has gone over Web3 like, Web3, what's that? Just, yeah, don't be looking at the metanet. This is an evolution. It's a full-scale re-architecture of the global financial system. Money never sleeps. And for any newbies who might be watching my show about Web3 and all that, CSW, as in Craig Wright, mentioned the word MetaNet in 2018. And the moment he mentioned MetaNet, the cabal jumped all over it. They got Facebook to change their name to Meta, and then they literally created this bullshit of the metaverse and everything like that. Because what they do, they deceive and they lie. And as soon as they get an idea for a bullshit concept that can just deceive people and waste everybody's time, they're like, oh right, that's given us an idea. Yeah, we'll wake up to that and we'll lie about it. But like the whole point of calling something the metadata, the metanet, is that comes from metadata. And metadata is the data that remains when data has been deleted to prove that it once existed. So if you have an entire network of data that can't be deleted, then a suitable name for it would be the metanet. That's where it comes from. And the cabal is like, oh right, well let's build all this bullshit like the metaverse. And people are just like, really? What's the metaverse? Is the metaverse to do with 3D goggles and all this crap? It was literally just to try and dilute the name of MetaNet, but that's what's coming. So they said money never sleeps. Stock markets have existed over 400 years. Smoke-filled coffee houses in Amsterdam evolved into handshaking deals in New York. Handshake deals quickly formalized into paper contracts. Those paper contracts traded fiercely in open outcry pits as Wall Street doomed. Shouting traders disappeared into a melting frenzy of technology and electronic trading. The new era of decentralization is a natural progression in the timeline of inevitable disruption. The crypto market never closes, yet the stock market does. That's true. The crypto market doesn't close. It's just digital, just runs. Restricted trading hours stack the deck against retail investors. The US stock market runs from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m, 6.5 hours of trading, yet institutions enjoy the luxury of accessing the markets for 13.5 hours daily, from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. The appetite for inclusive market access is ravenous. Robinhood introduced extended trading hours in June 2023. Users benefit from an extra 6.5 hours of trading. After hours trading volumes have doubled since the launch. Still, this isn't bulletproof. Traders aren't processed in real time. Orders have queued for execution and the next session's open. Again, all these dirty traders skimming off the top. They're literally financial parasites, is what they are. But interesting, that is where it's coming, but the only network that can actually scale and deal with all of this stuff is BSV. And they don't want anybody to know that. No sirree. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the figures then. So CoinDance again, hiding the price there. Looking at the top left, we've got 26.54. Block size has just gone down a little bit, but 75% of the entire market. Earlier today, I saw like half a gigabyte block on there. 68,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Gregcoin mining. Bitcoin at a 44.8% comparable loss. 3.2% more profitable to mine on Fisher Price Cash. 3% more profitable to mine on Bcrash. Oh. Let's have a look at the politics in the pie charts then, just quickly. Global hash rate 7 days. Global hash rate 24 hours. Gregcoin hash rate other miners 9.7. Bcrash other miners 18.75. Fisher Price Cash, some CK pool 60.4%. And again, CoinDance not showing the true figures for the mining on Bitcoin. COOV 30, 31.9, QD Link 27.08, SA100 18.75, TAL down to 15.2. Gorilla Pool, usually around 7, squeezed down to 5.5. Mining Dutch getting a look in at 1.39. And look at this. So we've got the genuine Bitcoin price on Orange Gateway creeping up, $27 here. $27. So it's been moving up ever since the 4th of July. And yeah, 4th of July was when in Independence Day when the 80,000 BTC moved, and BSV price has been creeping up since then. Whoa. Okay, so this is just today. So BSV on the uptick. So it looks like BTC Gradecoin probably just had a downward movement. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, dropped again. Interesting. Let's move on to 365 days of Bitcoin history because 20 minutes has gone already. 15th of July 2010, Craig Wright as Satoshi installed a 1 megabyte block cap after being pressured by Hal Finney to do so, since Hal was unfamiliar with the nature of Bitcoin's economic model. The quote here, the limit was originally Hal Finney's idea. Both Satoshi and I objected that it wouldn't scale at 1 megabyte. That was what Ray Dillinger said. And again, personally, just in my opinion, speculating, I suspect that Hal Finney was a CIA operative, because they were just like, right, we don't know what this thing is yet, haven't figured out how to corrupt it in our usual, espionage kind of way. But if we restrict it, it gives us time to figure a way out. So I think that's what Hal's first assignment was given. It's like, right, just restrict this thing, and then we'll figure out what we'll do. So he did it with this 1 megabyte block size BS. Craig went along with it. But it was only a soft cap. It wasn't hard coded in, so it didn't actually make a change to the legacy address. So, 15th of July 2020, Twitter accounts hacked by Bitcoin thieves. Crypto hackers took over the Twitter accounts of prominent users including Bill Gates, Kanye West, Elon Musk, and Barack Obama, and many more. The Bitcoin wallet, where followers were asked to send money, received more than $180,000 before the Twitter locked down all verified accounts to shut down the scam. Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, sent out the following tweet to address the situation. He said, "Tough day for us at Twitter. We all feel terrible this happened. We're diagnosing with and we'll share everything we can when we have a more complete understanding of exactly what happened." Twitter put out a blog post confirming that 130 accounts were targeted, and the hackers were able to initiative a password reset, log onto the account, and send tweets from 45 of those accounts. Twitter also said that the hackers were able to download account data belonging to 8 unverified users. The cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase had stopped around 1,100 customers from sending around $280,000 in Gradecoin to hackers who gained access to high-profile Twitter accounts. Following a widespread investigation, a 17-year-old Tampa teen was arrested in Florida for allegedly being the mastermind behind the July 15th Twitter hack. Good grief. But who knows these days? Truth is hard to find. 15th of July 2021 said Square is building decentralized finance business using Bitcoin. What a load of bollocks that is. Payment company Square is launching a business dedicated to decentralized financial services using Gradecoin. Square CEO and Bitcoin bull Jack Dorsey said on Twitter that Square is focused on building an open developer platform with the sole goal of making it easy to create non-custodial, permissionless, and decentralized financial services. Decentralized finance, what a load of crap that is. 15th July 2024, BitConnect promoter banned for 5 years by a Sydney District Court. Rightly so. Right, there we go. That is a 23-minute show. We'll leave it there. It's the Kellen Schweller Countdown is still on. We are the 15th of July 2025. And the countdown has now got 65 days left on it. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss what's happened. So click the subscribe button and we'll catch you in the next one. And until then, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
2 years ago, you got SegWit, which we lied and cheated and stealed, and I was part of the lying and cheating and stealing to get SegWit, to get Lightning, which, by the way, had critical vulnerabilities and lost people's money.
The king still has one more move.
Remember, Bitcoin is BSV. Everything else is BS.